This is Chuck Schaefer of Customer TV, and I am joined by Baski, Global Head of CRM for Tata Consultancy. Baski, thank you for joining me today. Let me start my questioning by asking you, in your conversations with customers, what do you find are their biggest CRM or customer management related business problems or challenges?
The organizations are facing the challenges around managing the customers because the customers today are more mobile, social and agile. So with that, the customer expectations are very high, they're very highly demanding. The whole enterprises are focusing on looking at the customers from outside in rather than inside out, ensuring that how they can follow on the customer, ensuring providing the consistency in the customer experience across all the channels wherever the customers are moving today.
When you work with customers to implement or advance CRM strategies and supporting technologies, what are the overarching benefits that they're trying to achieve?
Most of the customers across the globe, whenever we interact with them in terms of what are the real benefits they're looking at today from the CRM initiatives or the CX initiatives, are the business agility, long-term profitability, brand equity, customer advocacy, and overall the productivity in terms of the growth.
And what are the new trends that you're seeing in the CRM industries that your customers are taking note?
The whole industry is going through a major shift, being an operational CRM to analytics to more of a collaborative social enterprise CRM, more focused on the customers, ensuring providing the services across all the channels. The services are more relevant, personal and very realistic and prompt to the customer.
Now you referenced the social enterprise and more channels. So let me ask you, when customers are diving into social media, how is that adding value to their CRM strategy or their CRM technologies?
As I said, today the customers are more social, mobile and agile, and the enterprise need to look at the customers where they are today, where they are looking for a feedback, where they are searching for a product, or where they are looking for some feedback about the performance of the services and product. So with that, the whole organization is looking at how they can tie in the whole social media, the conversation which is happening in the whole social media into their operational CRM, so that they can have a closed loop, complete view about the customers, what they're talking in the social media, what they're talking about when they interact with the organizations. So the whole shift is happening in integrating the social media with a lot of tools in the overall engagement.
Baski, for the business leader that's about to begin a CRM software selection project, what advice would you offer them?
So the advice we give it to the enterprise customers whenever they look for the right CRM tools, we ask them to look into more of the functional fitment, the technology fitment, and the vendor viability, and overall the value for the money in terms of the cost. So we look into the 4 pillars. We have a defined methodology within TCS. We use that to help the customer to advise what is the right tools that they look at it. And other thing we also will look at it, it's not that they just look at it from a technology perspective, what is the ROI, the business value they're going to get with this particular CRM package.
And when that organization is ready to move from selection decision to deployment, what should they be thinking about when they begin their implementation process?
As a system integrator, the advisory service we give to the customer is, whenever you start in any CRM or CS engagements, so we need to define a baseline your objectives. What is it we are going to achieve as part of this engagement? Once you define the baseline metrics, the whole program, the whole engagement model, the whole solutioning need to tie in to ensure that it delivers a value which we are trying to achieve. So if you don't baseline in the beginning, that whole program will not align to your objectives.
Referencing a baseline so that you can then calculate ROI is great advice. We know that all technology deployments incur risk or involve some level of risk. What are the risks when deploying CRM software, and how do you recommend mitigating those risks?
Based on our experience working with the major enterprises across the globe, the top risks we see is in terms of getting the management buy-in. That is one of the key things we see is a risk. If you don't have a buy-in, you will have to have the continued support for the successful implementation. And the number two is we see is user adoption. You need to keep your business along with you for the overall journey. It's not that you collect all the requirements, then after a few months or a few quarters, you go and give the CRM product to the business. You need to keep them engaged throughout, starting from the requirements to the design, and ensure you need to be agile in the overall development process.
And if we look forward a few years, how do you suspect that the CRM industry may change or evolve?
The CRM industry is going through a major shift from being operational CRM to analytic CRM to today to more of a collaborating social. And the way we see how it's going to move forward in the future with the technology innovations around social, cloud and mobile, we see it's a more of the agility is going to be the prime factor, agility and the long-term profitability, and the customers won't wait for like 6 months for a CRM projects to get delivered and provide a value.
Very good, and with that advice, I think we're at a good break point to conclude our conversation. This is Chuck Schaefer of Customer TV, and I've been joined by Baski, Global Head of CRM for Tata Consultancy. Baski, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, Chick.